Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors! Steven here once again, and we're going to continue on with the king of the monsters goodness with my review of the 6-inch scale King Ghidorah figure review from Jakks Pacific. So this one here is going to give you a 6-inch scale King Ghidorah, obviously, with a nice little building and a vehicle, so this way King Ghidorah can unleash his wrath upon the earth. But at about $15 or so, is this little set going to be worth it, or should you save your money for something else? Well, let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. Let's go ahead and start the video off by taking a look at the box. As many of you know, I don't really like showing off the box because it shouldn't sway you one way or another to purchase the item because it's what's inside that counts. Aw, isn't that a good philosophy on life? Anyway, as we take a look at the box, this is actually what is going to be on the store shelf when you show up to Walmart or whatever country you're going to be in to purchase the actual product. Why am I making mention of this? Well, some of you may have noted, if you watched another review or two or several, that the figures might look different. Why is that? Well, Jakks Pacific sent out review samples to some reviewers who requested them, and they sent different packs to those reviewers for early samples. That's right, Ghidorah and Rodan have different paint schemes to them, slightly. They come with 2 buildings apiece and 2 aircrafts. Meanwhile, what is available on Walmart shelves are different paint jobs, 1 building apiece, and 1 aircraft. Yeah. So, why they did that? Not quite sure. But this is what the actual packaging for the product looks like. Now, let's go ahead and actually look at the figure, and, well, we have King Ghidorah here, and how does he look? Well, this is kind of a mixed bag here. Why is that? Well, the sculpt actually does look really nice. There are a whole bunch of bumps and ridges and veins and folds, which represent all of the nice things we like about King Ghidorah. However, when it comes to the paint, the actual specific paint application that this thing has is just going to be the eyes. Yes, there is a black wash throughout the figure. It is very, very subtle, but the eyes, they're just white. And unfortunately, mine has a couple of paint blobs here and there on the middle head, and incomplete paint application on one of the other ones, but yeah, that's kind of disappointing. I think, are Ghidorah's eyes even white? Yeah. But anyway, to go back to that black wash for a minute, it really helps to bring out the wonderfully sculpted details in the plastic. And I do have to say, again, where Jakks really shone through, I don't know which one you'd use here. Anyway, where they really excelled here for this figure is definitely going to be the sculpt, and that is apparent here. Now, if they were able to take the black wash a step further, they would have definitely been able to make that sculpt pop even more. Even if the sculpt is technically outdated to what we can assume to be a previous render of the Ghidorah model that's going to be used in the movie, as you can clearly see, there is a mane on the heads for Ghidorah. That is not true for what we can at least see in the trailers anyway. They would have made this sculpt look even better. Oh, and by the way, one little detail I intentionally haven't mentioned yet, just so I can bring it in at the end here. Ghidorah actually has glitter infused in the plastic, so it will catch the light in just some ways. Sometimes you have to look up close and personal at it, but yeah, it's there. All in all, this is a figure with great sculpt, but unfortunately the paint really doesn't leave a whole lot there, so yeah, it's kind of middle of the road on average. We're going to go ahead and continue that overall average streak when it comes to the articulation. Why is that? Well, unlike the small battle pack one, we don't have to worry about this one necessarily falling over on its face time and again, but the necks are going to have the same articulation, where the middle one is going to have a cut for a swivel down at the base of the neck. The one on the right for Ghidorah is going to have a cut a little farther up, and then the one on the left is going to have a cut more so towards the middle of the neck for a swivel. The wings are going to have a cut for the hinge more so towards the middle, so this way you have a little bit more expressiveness in how Ghidorah is flapping his wings. The legs at the hips are going to have 2 swivels, except for they kind of like to rock a little bit, kind of giving it a ball-jointed impression, though they are not. And then the tails are going to be swivels as well. The only issue is that, well, sometimes things get loose, the heads like to pop off, and yeah, those wings, they do like to fall over on their own, and they like to flap and hit the ground. So Do keep that in mind. Nothing is going to be super tight, but for something that you're going to throw into a quick pose and put up on your shelf, it works rather well. Since this is an overall pack, we actually do get accessories here, and Ghidorah comes with the Argo Jet. No stand to support the jet while it's flying, but hey, why would we expect that? Anyway, yep, it's just a black piece of rather flexible plastic, kind of feels like a rubber here, and the details, they're pretty nice, but honestly, we're not really going to focus in too much on the details here. This is just going to be a background piece that is going to get thrown around a little bit, probably going to get lost if this is going to be given to a little kid. Yeah. So, choking hazard. Don't swallow it. And then we get the building set here, which can be destroyed and can get blown up, but actually the sculpted details here are pretty nice. Nice windows, nice details, all that fun stuff. Yep. This is actually the sort of thing that I approve of because honestly, when it comes to different kaiju releases and whatnot, we don't get enough buildings in enough cities. So this way we can have our monsters go ahead and destroy everything, especially things that can be customized to our own liking, even if it's just going to be a little bit. So on this one, it looks like we have a little bit of a clock tower going on here. Not necessarily Big Ben tier, but that's okay. And then on the bottom of it, it looks like we have a little bit of a factory or maybe some sort of a casino thing going on. Not quite sure. But yes, it can be destroyed by any of your kaiju that are going to come walking by and kick it, or if I decide to flick it and blow it up. Very cool. Now, since we're reaching the end of this review, let's go ahead and do a size comparison with some other kaiju figures you might have, or maybe a random one or two. And yes, we're going to do it alongside Rodan because why waste time reshooting things? Anyway, as you can see here, yes, this 6-inch tall King Ghidorah, it does scale well with a couple of other things you just might have up on the shelf. And honestly, the sizing isn't too bad for the about $15 or so price tag. Gotta say, it does look nice. Could be a bit bigger though. Yes, I know it's wide, but it isn't that tall. Still pretty neat. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Gotta be honest with you here, folks, throwing it right down the middle, the straight and narrow, considering I paid for it myself here. Yeah, it's just kind of there. Honestly, if you're more so towards the adult side of things for a collector, this is probably going to be something you're going to get just for the novelty of it and just to say, hey, remember when that thing came out? Yeah, if you're looking for something that's a bit more so aimed towards the serious side, but you still want something that's going to have more of that toy feel to it, definitely the movie monster series is going to be the route to go. However, if you're looking to pick this up for a little kid, it's a 6-inch King Ghidorah that comes with a building that blows up and you can just slam it into it day after day after day until the movie comes out. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. But still, for $15, I think we could have gotten a bit more. Maybe another building and another aircraft. Wonder if they've ever done anything like that. Anyway, good sculpt with only a black wash to help bring out those details with, realistically speaking, no other paint to highlight anything, maybe not even an extra gold or maybe even a tan spray here or there to help. Articulation, which is kinda iffy, and accessories, which, you know what, they're pretty nice, and one can help all sorts of kaiju fans, old for setting up displays, or young to help make a destroyable city. If you're gonna get this, dial back expectations and go in with it with an open mind that, hey, maybe it's for a younger crowd. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up, thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.